This is the Grow Business Podcast with Cory Mosley.
This is the Grow. Growth is the topic. Growth is what we're after.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, growth's not the topic.
It's a theme.
No,
growth is
the growth is the theme of everything.
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
All we're talking about is growth.
Correct.
What, you thought I was slipping up and telling you? I'm not slipping up and telling you what we're talking about.
Well, I was seeing
What
if I could.
What are you, Meshuggah? I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
Throw out some bait there.
Yes. welcome to another episode of the Grow Business Podcast. Okay. Yes. This is the Grow Business Podcast. Whew, I tell you, I don't know how many episodes we got to get on all. This is what happens when you let people like have lunch,
right?
And let them. That's when you let them have lunch and beverages and stuff. Right. It gets crazy. Once again, this is the Grow Business Podcast. I'm your host, Cory Mosley, joined by the man, the myth, the legend, LG007.
Voice of reason.
And the guy hitting the buttons, sometimes on time, sometimes quite not. Willie H is here.
Hit the buttons, William.
I'm fired up.
Yes.
We're going to get right to it. I'm not playing any games
Yay.
today. I'm not playing any games today because I am livid about a topic that we need to talk about. And this is under the people pillar.
Okay.
You know, our 5 pillars of business growth.
All right.
Under the people pillar. And I was going through this exercise on LinkedIn in the LinkedIn jobs section.
Oh,
so I was going through this exercise and looking at a couple different things. And I am so discouraged by something that I see that is costing companies, I believe, millions and millions of dollars. I mean, this could be $1 billion issue.
Okay.
And what I'm talking about right now, because I'm not wasting any time, is this idea of college degree requirements for jobs.
Okay.
And I don't understand why there's such still an emphasis on that. Because most of the statistics, even your major corporations, Google, Apple, IBM, Ernst & Young, Bank of America, Tesla even, have dropped college degree requirements.
Okay.
Now, I am not talking about hiring unqualified people for a job.
Hey, that's a different
I'm talking
story.
about I'm talking about the idea that someone can be qualified for a position.
Okay.
They may have more experience. So because what you're telling me is somebody who just got out of school with a degree is more favorable to get a position than someone who has 20 years experience in whatever you're hiring them for, but does not have a degree.
Okay.
In today's marketplace, that is insanity. And when I watch SMBs, right? Not major corporations. I name major corporations that have gotten the memo.
Right.
But when I watch small and medium business, SMBs, SMEs, whichever lingo you like, have these requirements, I think about the great degree of talent that is being missed.
Okay.
I didn't go to college.
Okay.
So the idea that there are 100 positions that I am amazingly overqualified for if I was in the job market.
Right.
Companies that I could transform, but could not even hit the apply button on, is absurd. That's just dumb. And with the learning environment, the levels of courses, Udemy, LinkedIn Learning, the Khan Academy, the level of access to learn information or develop skills. I'm just beside myself. And this is a very important topic for me that was just reignited as I was looking at this exercise, going through this exercise. It was ignited for me because I often tell the story. I had my first major, the first Fortune, I guess they're a Fortune 50 company. First Fortune 50 company client I got at 27 years old. That was my first corporate contract, 27 years old. I'm passionate about this because I couldn't have gotten a job,
Right.
not a contract.
Right.
At the time it wasn't six, it was probably high 5 figures, almost 6 figures as a contract. Which that dollar value exceeded what I would have earned in a whole year as a starting employee at that corporation.
Correct.
And I tell the story because I remember the day going to the mailbox and getting the check.
Okay.
And saying to myself, how interesting is America?
Right.
That I could make this for doing the work I did with the expertise I brought to the table.
Right.
But could never have been an employee there. So I was good enough to advise and have a part in impacting their business.
Right.
But I would not have been good enough as an employee because I didn't go to school. Any school.
Mm.
Go ahead.
Well, you know what I say, Cory. The answer is it depends, right?
Yeah. I mean, we're going to actually. This isn't pure commentary.
Right.
We're actually going to go through, as always. We're going to give you content.
Right.
We're going to go, but I'm making the case why making a college requirement for job applicants is a mistake, and we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, and there are lots of situations now where 10 to 15 years ago, that may have been a reasonable requirement. And now it's not as reasonable especially for specific roles, right? There's certain things.
And we're going to talk about those roles.
Yeah, and I'm sure that we'll get into that.
Yeah.
But to your point, as the skills become, the requirement for skills to become more specialized.
Yeah.
It is critically important that you know that skill and not necessarily all of the other well-rounded things that you would get from a college degree.
Yes.
So,
yeah. Well, I mean, 10 to 15 years ago, yeah, for sure. You just didn't have the resources. So,
correct.
But this goes back to my whole theory of why people need to get positioned for growth.
Correct.
Position for growth now in stores.
What is position for growth?
Now shipping on Amazon.
What is position for growth?
What do you mean?
Well,
and how do you not know this
we
answer? Is this a tee up question?
Yes.
Oh, like you're teeing up.
Like we may have some new listeners.
Oh, okay. Well, position for growth is the guiding principle for anyone whose business becomes stuck, stalled, or stagnant.
Okay.
So it is the new Bible.
Is it a book?
Well, it's a book. It's a movement.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a whole. I mean, are you co-hosting or what?
Preach to me. I'm saying
I'm trying to stay on topic, but obviously I'd be remiss because one of the cornerstones of our 5 pillars is people.
Correct.
So we're really within that. I think I started it that way. We're within that pillar today. But Position for Growth now in store, now on Amazon.com, now available at CoryMosley.com. Everywhere books are sold, as opposed to nowhere books are sold. But it's my contribution to the idea that what business owners don't really need to do is change, because we'll do a whole episode on this.
Right. But I just want people to know that aren't familiar with
correct.
with that.
Yeah, 100%.
That you're and it's out now.
They're going to learn today. They're going to learn today.
100%.
Right? You are $20 away from learning today. Okay? Amazon.com, Position for Growth. A proven strategy to modernize your business and achieve record revenues.
Ooh. When the church say amen.
It's not just a book, it's a roadmap for businesses ready to embark on a journey of transformation and prosperity.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Now we're going back. There'll be a book report due on that.
Now back to your regularly scheduled program.
Lon Graham reports on Position for Growth on an upcoming episode.
Indeed.
Okay, so I'm going to go into this. So we're back in this people. We're in the people
100%.
pillar. So we're in the wheelhouse, right? So I want to talk about a couple key things here. 1, limiting the talent pool. 2, ignoring relevant experience.
Correct.
3, slowing your hiring process. Misaligned with job requirements, right? Oh, I've got a degree in liberal arts,
right?
But I'm applying to be a business analyst.
Right.
What is the correlation doesn't even make sense to me.
Have mercy.
Yeah, it's an arbitrary checkbox.
Right.
And when I hear people talking about lack of talent and I go look at their ad,
right.
and I'm like, man, well, you're just discounting a whole group of people. Some people that came in that came in straight, you know.
Right.
I mean, I go back to coming from the automotive world, right? So couldn't work for a manufacturer without a college degree, but I killed it in the car business.
Right.
Like today, the idea that I couldn't go work in a senior level position at an automotive manufacturer,
right,
when I've spent a decade and a half,
right,
creating and contributing to hundreds of millions of dollars of increase in revenue is absurd.
right.
So there's a business owner right now who's trying to grow their business or whatever, and they're having somebody else write their ads or do their recruiting.
Right.
That is arcane and still putting stuff like that in.
Right.
Do you know, I've watched people go through college and are still dumb as bricks. I'm fired up today. Yeah. Pick whichever one you want to jump in wherever you want, Lon. Limit the talent pool. I mean, you're cutting out a significant number of talented individuals who might have gained experience through non-traditional routes. They could have done apprenticeships, boot camps, self-learning. My buddy Jason Gardner, who owns a tech company that's continuing to get valued at gazillions of dollars, taught himself to code Python and all of that stuff. Right. To the point where his eyes would like bleed while he was building his company.
Yeah, my eyes would bleed too.
So he could never be a chief technical officer at a small business.
Right.
Based on how they might write their deal. Right. And here he is as CEO of a fast-growing tech company.
Well, and I think we hear a couple things, right?
Jim, like, I'm going to get emails about this episode.
Well, and that's okay, though,
but it's
because
just dumb.
Well, it is a topic, and to your point, especially on LinkedIn and even on X, there's some people that go back and forth on this topic. It is a highly polarizing topic. And if you're a business owner who is having a hard time attracting the type of talent you want, and you're requiring a business degree, and you're like, I'm just not getting any good applicants. Right. Well, to your point, Cory, they're not getting applicants that might be qualified because they're reading the job description. Correct. And they're self-deselecting. Like, well, I would never even get an interview or a callback. Yes. So why would I apply?
Correct. Why would I apply?
Correct. And with some of the people that are using automated qualifying tools,
it's an immediate turn down.
It's 100%.
Right, do you have a college degree? No. Okay, great. This is not for you.
Right.
So forget the 10 years you were doing the job already somewhere else.
Right.
And that's what I'm talking about. That's what just doesn't make any sense to me. Right. Now I'm all for, again, hiring qualified individuals.
Right. You can have a specialized skill without having gone to a college.
Correct.
And be more qualified in that skill and in that space.
Because it's,
than somebody. And
now you got specialized training, of course. Can't be an attorney without, having your JD, right? I mean, okay, great. Got your number. Let's not get into the weeds here. Let's talk broad approach. Well, that social media marketing position doesn't need a college degree in history.
Right.
When they spent 6 years working at HubSpot.
Right. Or
intern at Meta or whatever.
Even more specifically, and let's look at it where it becomes like this self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Where let's say you own an accounting firm and you're looking for people to come into your business to support your bookkeeping and to support your clients. Not everybody that you want to work in your business that has the specialized skills that you need is going to have a college degree. So maybe you get them in, and if you ultimately want them to develop a college degree or get it, you develop a plan together, but at least get somebody who's got that specialized skill in. And sometimes what we end up doing is we as a business owner, especially in professional businesses where you had to have a college degree to get a CPA or to get your law degree, you're looking in the mirror saying, I want somebody that looks like me, or I want somebody that's done what I've done. And the reality of it is you don't, because you don't want another you. You want somebody that can do some things that you can't do. And we fail to recognize that sometimes in small businesses.
Yeah.
Voice of reason.
Voice of reason. Here's another one.
Okay.
People are talking about turnover rates.
Right.
Retaining employees. Keeping people. That college degree person that you're after, statistically more likely to leave for other opportunities more quickly, seeking positions that maybe even more closely align with their education level. So their degree got them in the door, but it wasn't even really the degree in whatever it was.
Right.
So now they're gone because they used you as a launch pad.
Right.
Meanwhile, you could have given the opportunity to somebody who's less likely to go because they now can excel inside your organization. They're more likely to stay inside of your organization because there's dumb people out there that won't hire them because they don't have a college degree. So now you create loyalty. Like there's residual effects to something as simple as that.
And yes, and what ends up happening is you bring somebody in, and you build a plan for their development. So you get them in to do what you need them to do.
Right.
And then you build a plan for their development as your business grows. So will their impact in your business and their responsibilities in your business. You're 100% right. They're much more likely to be loyal and stay. And they're going to be more invested in the business and the success of the business as opposed to a resume builder.
Right. And because then you're going around going, I don't understand why people don't want to stay here or what,
Nobody wants to work.
Right. Nobody wants to work. Yeah. They got their degree, didn't think they have to work anymore. That was the work.
Right. Exactly.
And I think you touched on this earlier too, a little bit, but some of the practical skills and experience or expertise that needs to be developed inside a role is not even taught in the college curriculum.
Correct. Yes. That is true, so especially not in some of the degree programs that are available.
No, I get it. I mean, people have tried to make the argument to me that really the degree is not about necessarily the education degree. What it signifies is the ability to see something through or get something done. Dude, I watch people, I just watched a whole subset of a generation go to COVID college.
Right.
Many of these kids don't know nothing.
Right.
And I said, no, nothing. I don't need any English teachers. I know. I said it on purpose.
Yeah, well, I mean, look,
because they weren't engaged. They didn't get the real experience. They were phoning it in. I watched my nephew go through college basically virtually.
Correct.
And I watch, and this isn't a comment about him because they know you can go to TikTok if you want to see me messing with my nephew. But I watched the education. I'm not naming schools. I don't even get into any of that.
Right.
I watched the education system, I believe, fail him in a certain way.
Okay.
No-show teachers, self-paced learning, just log in and watch a video.
Right.
Let's not even get into what it costs to go to school. I'm not knocking. This is not an indictment on going to college or getting a degree.
Right.
This is an indictment on employers who are missing a whole pool of good people, not just starter people who have experience in whatever the job is they're looking to fill, and are not even considering these people based on that premise. You got people, Lon, who maybe couldn't even go to school financially.
Right. Let's go back to the example that you gave about your nephew.
I like the a yin and yang here, when you slow it that way, where I'm coming in hot, and then you pull it back. Go ahead.
And in full disclosure, look, I mean, I'll tell you about me. I'm 0 for the state of Georgia in college, and yet I went back and got my degree. So I have a 4-year college degree, in a science, and it's a science-based degree. But let's go back to
Work perfectly in sales. Go ahead.
Correct. Right. Well, you know, I
go ahead.
was in medical sales.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
But let's go back and talk about your nephew's experience for a minute, because this is the great segue for business owners that are struggling to understand why you could hire somebody that's talented enough and knows enough that doesn't have a college degree. Because my niece graduated from high school in 2020, went to college. Now she went to a military college, so she went to college in person for 4 years. It was it was an experience. But your nephew took classes online that may have been webinars, that were pre-recorded, and your
teacher decided not to show up today.
Correct. Well,
what?
Well, your nephew gets credit for those courses by watching them, even though they're not live, even though they're pre-recorded. How is that different than the experience of somebody who's not in college?
You're helping make my point.
Correct. My point is is that we've taken what we've learned from that, and people are providing dedicated, directed training in that same format. You may have somebody that has exactly the same training in a specific skill, but you're overlooking them because you're not giving them credit for that. And if you have a degree requirement, it means that they're automatically being discounted and they're not even going to make it into your talent pool, whether they're self-deselected or AI.
Let's talk about some stats.
Yeah. All right. Perfect.
LinkedIn did a study. 69% of professionals say that skills are more important than formal education in hiring and promotion decisions. Okay. So that's skills over degree.
Okay.
Research by Harvard Business School, might have heard of it. Harvard Business School found that 37% of employers admit that degree requirements are unnecessary for the job.
What was that number again?
37% of employers admit. So that's the ones that would admit.
So over a third have admitted that.
Yes.
That's not okay.
Admitted that degree requirements are unnecessary for the job.
Correct.
A report by the Lumina Foundation found that 58% of workers have some college, but no degree, which represents a vast pool of untapped talent.
100%. Yeah. Well, and that's the example of what we learned, especially in this COVID environment, is you can take classes, you can get credits, you can do things without completing and fulfilling the requirements for a degree. Because if you want to work in a technical degree program, now I can make a case for taking a couple of English and writing classes, because it's going to be valuable for you to be able to communicate what you're doing.
Not if I apprenticed at a PR firm for 5 years.
Well, that's correct. But I mean, but
I become certified at Microsoft through Microsoft.
But that's your training, right? That's what we're talking about is where's your training.
But I don't even get
from?
to put that's on the resume, but you don't even get my resume because it doesn't say college on it.
Correct. Yeah.
Dumb. That's just
so
dumb.
You have more stats though.
Yeah. So and what? No, I'm good with stats.
Okay.
I don't like to overstat. But when we think about top positions, software developer.
Okay.
You can get all the training you need.
Yes. And we need a lot of software developers.
Yes. Software developers, right? Because you've got boot camps, you've got self-taught programmers. Right. My buddy Jason, self-taught,
right,
and built and I think the valuation. I think it's probably I think it's a 9-figure valuation, 9-figure, 8-figure, 7 figures, 7, 8, 9-figure valuation.
It's a lot.
Learning to program. Couldn't work for himself.
Right.
Heck, I think the only person in my organization would be my wife that would be allowed if college degree was required. Right. Software developer.
Right.
Sales.
Right.
Success in sales, largely driven by interpersonal skills, networking, and on-the-job experience.
Right. Do you know what you're talking about?
I don't care what your degree is in until you've been hung up 100 times, hung up on 100 times, or had the door slammed in you.
Right.
Willie H. was out there hustling them Kirby's back in the day. You learn a lot about yourself.
Yes, Lord have mercy.
Yeah. Lord have mercy. Project manager.
Yes.
Managing projects, leading teams, organizational skills. Those skills are more critical than a piece of paper.
Well,
I'm wearing my voice out. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I think let's distinguish this, because I think we're starting to blend a lot of things together here. And let's distinguish this. We're talking about college degree versus qualification. And so you can...
A college degree being a qualification to even be considered for a position.
Correct.
In a marketplace where we are hungry, where we are thirsty for talent.
Well, what we're saying...
I talk to business owners all over the country.
Right.
Oh, Cory, I need to get better people. How can I get better? They think getting better people is the key to unlock it. And then we go, great. What does your ad look like?
Right. Now, here's what I'm saying, though, and here's where we've got to, clear up this blurry line a little bit. It's if you say you have to have a college degree, you don't necessarily need a college degree to hire the person for the role that you're hiring for. But what you do need is somebody qualified. So if you've got somebody who doesn't have a college degree, but went out and got a project management certificate, like a 12-week or 15-week project management, they're qualified based on the training they have.
No, I'm going to go with the person that's got the culinary degree.
Well, right. Exactly. But my point is that we're not saying you don't need training. We're not saying you don't need skill sets. We're not saying that you don't need to be qualified. What we're saying is a college degree doesn't inherently make you qualified. And
right. You know what's a non-starter? Crack addict. Okay? That's a non-starter.
Right.
Okay?
Hold on, Buckaroo.
Can't do that and get hired.
Correct.
Don't apply.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Although I lost it today.
I'm not even doing that.
I'm just saying. Right. And I'm looking at it, thing after thing after thing after thing, and I'm like, I know somebody who could do this job really, really well that didn't go to college. I know somebody who's killing it. I'm working with people, and you're in this gig economy.
Right.
So what about the person who has gone out and got certificates, got training, and they were out on their own, and you know what? They decided, hey, I don't want to be on my own anymore.
Right.
I think I'd prefer to be inside a major corporation or have greater security or be able to contribute more or whatever those things are.
Right.
And I'd rather do it inside a company. But for the last 10 years, I did social media coach, or I did social media for small businesses.
Right.
I don't have a degree, but I'm HubSpot certified. I'm whatever's out there. Right. I've got certifications in this. I took some professional education. Again, I'm not knocking. This isn't a knock on professional education. Nope. During COVID, I went and got some professional education, took some Wharton classes and some things like that in some targeted areas to make me more valuable to the marketplace. So I'm not like, just because I know people like that. I have these debates with my friends or people I know that, you could just learn everything from YouTube, Cory. People shouldn't have to buy. You should never have to buy a course or invest in anything because everything you can learn, you drive yourself insane.
Right. Until you
can learn some cool stuff, but you can drive yourself insane too. And assume you're learning from somebody who knows what they're talking about. And just because you have a lot of views, that can be bought.
Right.
Bots. That can be bought. So that doesn't mean, they must know what they're talking about.
Right.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry. No, more jobs. Wait, hold on before you make that point. Customer service manager. Right? Effective communications and problem-solving skills are more important than college. Customer service manager, marketing specialist, graphic designer, web developer, data analyst.
Right.
All things that skill set can be learned and derived in other ways than running up that debt.
Correct. Yeah, and I mean, and the what's really, really important here is for the people that are listening, if you have on your job description that you say the person needs a college degree, really think about why you have that on your job description and ask yourself this question. If this is the person that's listening to this episode, ask yourself this question. Does that person need a college degree to be successful in what I'm asking them to do? And can they help my business be successful without a college degree?
Right.
Because the answer is often going to be they don't need the college degree for you to be successful and for them to be successful in your organization. So then take the next step and say, okay, what do they need? Update your job description so that you can increase the qualified candidates that you're having a hard time getting.
Right.
Voice of reason.
Yeah, and this is where stop using those templates.
Right.
Because there's no reason for somebody to update their job description templates, job templates.
Right.
Maybe those haven't been updated.
Right.
So you're Googling for free job ad assistance, or you're asking ChatGPT to write your job ad that may or may not be taken, and we're just taking that as gospel. My greatest fear with ChatGPT and things of that nature is it's going to make people stupid, and it's going to make people, not actually have information.
Right. Well, I worry that it's going to make people stop thinking and stop critically thinking.
Right. That's my point. It's going to make them stupid.
Right.
And it's going to make, and there's no, I was having a conversation with somebody and they were like, oh yeah, I'm just going to, and I'm like, oh, phew, I finally got the book done, Position for Growth, available on Amazon.com and at CoryMosley.com. And I'm like, man, it's something right. But why don't you just have ChatGPT write the whole book? Mm-hmm. Okay, well, because I don't know that ChatGPT doesn't necessarily have my ideas. And also, I don't know, somebody might ask me about something in the book. Right. And if I just phoned it in,
right,
I might not be able to do that. So, you guys be wary letting ChatGPT make you sound smart, because at some point you might have to be smart.
Well said.
Right?
That's absolutely.
So tell me about so-and-so. Oh, I don't know. Well, what did ChatGPT say about it? Data analyst, human resource specialist,
yes,
operations manager.
Correct.
Having a college degree does not make you a better job applicant.
Not all the time. Correct. And it's
no Switzerland. Having a college degree doesn't make you a better job applicant.
Well, I would say
practical experience, on the job training, and real world experience offer more relevant skills, up to date skills. Self-taught individuals and those from non-traditional backgrounds often learn the latest technologies and methods faster. Go.
Well, I would say that having a college degree doesn't make you more qualified. And that's a little bit of a distinction between making you a better job applicant.
I think what I said is better, though.
Okay.
No, I mean that. I'm saying from the point, because I'm not talking about experience. You're dialing it down. I'm saying having a college degree doesn't make you a better applicant. How do you disagree with that?
I didn't say I disagree with it.
Well, you
said more qualified.
You played Switzerland.
Well, okay,
right.
A little bit.
Right, but having a college degree, see, I think the opposite. Okay. Having a college degree could make you more qualified for a job if there was a specialty in there that the other person doesn't have. But just having a college degree doesn't make you a better applicant.
Well, yeah. I mean, look.
I mean, we can get into. I mean, I guess we can play nuances with that, but but I'm saying applicant versus. Yeah.
Well, again, it depends too, right? It depends on the job. It depends on the skills. It depends on all of those things. The reality of it is I think
but the context is not being able to even apply for a job, or as an employer, I should be talking this from the other way. Right. As an employer looking to have quality people, good people that are key to growing your business, the idea that a non-starter for you.
Right.
There's organizations that have stopped drug testing but still require college degrees. So you can get high.
Right.
But if you went to college, you can still work here. Right. You can be buzzed out of your, blown sky high, floating on a cloud.
Right.
But because you went to Rumson or whatever, or Tech or wherever, you can still work here.
Like State U, right.
I don't understand.
And I think the point that we're making here is if you're requiring a college degree for somebody to apply for your role, you're missing a lot of talented people.
And you've got people going into massive debt.
Correct.
Because they don't believe they can get the right job for them without the college degree.
Correct.
So they're going to go through that process, go into this massive debt, which then we can, then we get into loan forgiveness, and people don't like that because they had to, I had to pay off all my student loans. So why do you get a free? And now it drives all these other issues. And again, I want to be very clear, because if you send me a stupid email about this, that is not in the context of what I said.
Right.
I'm not against going to college. I am not against the secondary educations I'm not against that. I'm not against having a degree. Right. From an employer's perspective and from someone who listens to business owners all day long and deals with their challenges. And a lot of times, pillar number 5 is people. Pillar number 5 is a problem.
Yes.
Good people, quality people who can put 2 sentences together. People who can simply punch a keypad to put the order in correctly.
Right.
I said pickles. How does it come with no pickles? Right. All you had to do was hit a button and you hit the button. So my man in the back who's putting the chicken sandwich together and it says pickles couldn't get the pickles on there. That's just dumb. That's what people are out here struggling with. Right.
That's exactly right. And
go ahead.
Well,
I'm done.
Well, no, and this is, the beauty of this is the level of energy and enthusiasm that we're having in this conversation is real world energy and enthusiasm and debate. People are really having this debate in the real world. And
let me let you in a little secret. You can get people cheaper.
Right. You are going to have,
you can save money as an employer.
As an employer, you absolutely can be more cost effective. You can.
I'm not saying be cheap, but
you can be more cost effective.
Bottom P&L, baby.
Right. Yeah. And this is really, and it's worth saying, this conversation is really directed at employers who are having a hard time getting people in their pipeline, have a hard time hiring people.
It's directed at anybody who is still unnecessarily requiring degrees as considers not having a degree a non-starter into working inside their organization. I'm not talking about CEO.
And that was the rest of my statement.
Okay, go ahead.
Is if you're having a hard time getting people and you still have the requirement that someone needs a college degree, really dig deep into that. And is that really necessary? And sometimes the answer is yes, but most often in the world that we live in now, the answer is no. Now, what we're not saying is we're not saying to the graduating high school student that you don't need to go to college. What we're saying is critically evaluate what you want to do and then get good advice and make decisions about what you do based on that advice. We're talking about the employers that have in their job description a college degree requirement, and they're frustrated because they're not getting good people.
Yes. Yeah, or yes, all of that. Woo. When the church say amen. I'm done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think
we can't, this is not a 1 hour conversation.
No.
This is a simple situation. This is, Stevie Wonder could see this. Hold on, Buckaroo. Okay. This is just a clear situation that it just doesn't make any sense.
Correct.
And you're not going to be able to justify with me. Now, if you are fortunate enough to have your office full of college degrees, people who are just killing it and crushing it, and you don't have an employee problem, you don't have a turnover problem, you don't have an HR, you don't have any HR issues, you don't have any issues with employees, or you're a solopreneur watching this, turn it off.
Right.
Not for you.
Right.
But if you're like, man, Cory, I need to really take a hard look at what I'm doing, or why aren't we getting this applicant? Why aren't we doing this? And this is just peeling back the onion on where it's all about, right? Where are the stoppers?
Right.
I need better people. Okay, what is wrong? Just as we would say, is it your culture?
Right.
Is it we're going to go through and check off boxes of what you're not doing or don't do, or where the opportunities are. And we come to this particular conversation.
Right.
And say, I'm not getting I'm limiting a whole bunch of applicants because I've got this policy, and it just doesn't make sense. This does not mean don't hire people with experience or skills.
Correct.
This does not mean just start giving people a chance.
Right.
That's not the point here.
Right.
This is how to get better applicants.
Right.
And if one key area is must have college degree to apply, you are missing out on tremendous talent that you may even be pushing into the market to be your competitor one day.
Yeah.
and you don't even really realize it.
Yeah. Well said.
I'm out. When the church say amen. Listen, Position for Growth, buy it. Buy the book, Position for Growth, a proven strategy to modernize your business and achieve record revenues. Buy it on Amazon. Go to CoryMosley.com and buy it. If you're interested in learning more about getting your business positioned for growth, we're here to help you with that. You can find that information at CoryMosley.com. Also, LG, any parting words here today? I'm closing my laptop.
Well, I'll say it often. I'll say it again. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming back.
Yes.
And next time, bring a friend.
Yes. Bring a friend. Share, like and share.
Yep.
If not, take care and brush your hair. I don't mean that, but it just really lined up. It lined up so well. That's
for both of us.
My big brother Brandon saying, take care. Brush your hair. I love it. All right, we're getting out of here. I'm Cory Mosley. He is Lon Graham, and Willie H is on the boards. This has been another episode of the Grow Business Podcast. We appreciate your listenership, streamership, viewership, and we look to have you again soon because we'll be back, and we want you to be back too. Willie H, take us out.
That one hit home.
Yeah, I'm fired up.
You are fired up.
Because it's just dumb. I mean, it's just so many opportunities that just get missed. I mean, listen, if the person doesn't have the right experience, if the person doesn't interview well, if the person doesn't have the skills you're looking for, that's a different story. But there's a whole group of people, and I was looking at it through my lens. I'm like, I couldn't apply for 50 of these jobs that I'm more qualified than the person who I'd be reporting to because I can't check the box college degree. How insane is that in today's marketplace? And then you look, jobs been up for 72 days. They can't even find anybody. Like, it's crazy.
It is crazy.
It is crazy.
And it's holding on, and these are things that we, in the bigger picture, these are things that we talk about a lot. It's holding on to something that worked once but doesn't work anymore.
In the car business, you couldn't work in a Mercedes store, an Audi store, if you didn't have 7-8 years luxury car experience.
Right.
You couldn't sell Toyotas.